as we're in our 4th annual week 1 picks.
Ooh, it's weird. This is 4.
It's 4. 4. So guys, this is what we do. We do this every single week. We do it every single season since we started the show here. Every Thursday, we'll do our picks episode. We'll be giving you guys who we think will win each and every game in the NFL. We'll give you a spread picks. We'll give you also over-unders. And then we'll go ahead and let you guys know how that goes for us on Monday's episode there. So, obviously, we go kind of round robin style in this as well. So Rob gets a chance to talk because otherwise we all know I commandeer the mic. It is what it is.
It is. And I get no 2 cents of putting in why these teams are going to win. Even though I have the record of stats why. Oh, just kidding.
All I know is I won last year.
You won by points.
I won by a lot. I won by a lot last year, okay? The total last year,
trifecta.
542 points I had. You had 507. That's a decent win. It was 10%.
It was. You had some good trifectas last year. I can't take it away from you.
Not with the trifectas. It's part of it there. So
I know.
Anyway,
you got points from
that as well to those who might be new as well. So we do our own thing as well, where if we get the win, the spread, and the over-under, all 3 of them correct, we call it a trifecta. We give an extra point to whoever picked all 3 of those correct per game as well. So that's what he's whining about there. So let's go. I'll start off with the first game here. It's going on live as we're recording this right now here. So, and again, these picks were made before the game started, so no shenanigans. Cowboys at the Eagles. Eagles are a 7-point favorite in the game. Over under is 46.5 points. And I did pick the Eagles to win. I picked the Eagles to beat with the spread, and I picked the over on the points as well. As we're recording this right now, it's 14-14. So looking pretty good as far as the points go. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I'll give credit to the Cowboys because I don't think anybody gave them a shot in hell of winning this game. And the fact that they playing this close is I guess a kudos to them, even though I hate to give kudos to either side of the ball right now. Now, we also had, of course, the ejection is the kind of this news going on right now in the NFL world is Jalen Carter was ejected before the first offensive snap even because he spit on Dak Prescott. Like very Bill Romanowski style almost like, but Bill Romanowski spit in the guy's face. Like I think Carter probably meant to spit in his face. I don't want to speak for him, but he probably did. But it landed on his jersey instead, it looks like, based on the play. So, yeah, absolutely classless. And what else should you expect from the Eagle? Saying
pretty much.
English fans beat up Santa Claus. I mean, that just tells you everything you know. Right
they throw
there.
Piss balls at kids.
Yeah. So again, though I'm going to pick the Eagles to win this. We'll see how that pans out for me as 5 minutes to go in I guess 5.5 minutes to go in the second quarter as we're talking this year. Rob, who you got?
I took the Eagles to win. I took them. I took them in the spread, and I took the over in this game as well.
So we're the same
going into this. Like, I would have possibly listen. If you were smart, you would have. As soon as you heard about the Michael Parsons trade and possibility of it going on, you should bet it then on the Eagles because they were -3 compared to -7, and then we even dabbled up to 8-5 in some sports books. So, yeah,
a little bit crazy, that's for sure. But yeah, this is like I said, this is kind of. I mean, you expect it to be a kind of a close game, but I don't think a touchdown is that crazy for this.
Yeah, I thought going into this game at 2-point. I thought Eagles would win by 2 scores.
Well, I don't think I would say that it's going to be 10 points. I'm going to say, which is the 2 scores, not 2 touchdowns. I think it'll be a little closer. We'll find out. We'll find out who's right there, and it's either be both of us or neither of us.
Pretty much, we're all or nothing. Well, the next thing we got is Friday night, guys. So if you got nothing going on, Friday night football.
It sounds weird to say that, doesn't it?
It was. Well, it's because it's a Brasilia. It's a Brasilia game, is it not?
Yes, Brasilia.
So the Chargers get gypped out of a home game because they are, quote unquote, hosting the Chiefs in Brazil.
That's it.
And the Chiefs are the 3-point favorites in this game, so that's kind of stinks. Not only do you lose a home field advantage to play in Brazil, you lose time and travel, and yeah, you're also underdogs at home.
But you also get good food.
You do. You got a lot of good food out there.
Oh, I had pão de queijo just last night, which is that little round bread that they make in Brazilian restaurants and all. Oh my god, it's so good.
I was going to a Brazilian steakhouse for work, but that was
I would love some rodizio. Listen, sign me up.
Oh my god.
You know I'm a fan of that stuff. We went there for my bachelor party.
Yeah, this is true. I can't listen. I visited quite a few of them because the vacuums, you need high quality vacuums at one of the steakhouses because you're just a bunch of big old clumps of meat left over.
Keep the green card going. Keep the meat coming.
But the over on this game is at 45.5 points. What can I say about this game? Listen, Harbaugh came in. He changed around the culture with the Chargers. It's a lot more low-scoring games with them, but until proven otherwise, like it should be a good game, but until proven otherwise, Andy Reid's the best coach in modern football as it currently sits. And you got to go with the Chiefs. Like as much as some people want to hate on them, they're a dynasty right now. They're like one of the best teams in the NFL, and they'll always be there. And it is a rival game as being in the same division, all, but I'm going to give the edge to the Chiefs in this. And I think their offense is going to be better than it was last year. You think of Mahomes, that offense sounds a little funny. Defense is going to be right around where it's at. So I'm going to take the Chiefs too with 3 points because they're probably going to win. Maybe not by a touchdown, but more than 3. Probably 6 to maybe 8 points. And I'm going to go with the under because I think it's going to be more of a low-scoring game and more of a run-fest game.
You know, this is the problem with doing any kind of scores on week 1 and picks that, you know? It's like you don't know because year to year things do change. And, you know, I've been a big fan of the Chiefs since they got Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh is going to develop this team into a winning team 100%. Like they could have been a winning team for the last couple of years that didn't have a crappy coach before they got him. Another one, division game. Division games are typically close. You know, you're looking at the fact that these two teams are both very good teams. I'm going to say the Chiefs are going to win because they are the better team. I'm going to pick, though, the Chargers because of the +3 and kind of hedge my bet a little bit there. This is a game point blank, guys. I would not touch with a 10-foot pole. Not even an 11-foot pole.
Oh.
Yes.
You know, saucy out there.
Or my own 12-foot, but that's a whole separate story. Wrap it around the leg.
Gross.
But to me, it's like because of the fact that it's really two good teams, playing across, you know, I always say across the pond, but I guess not across the pond. It's like way down the pond.
Down the river.
Yeah,
of the Amazon.
The Rio Grande. The Amazon River there. But you look at the fact that, again, two teams that play each other quite often is going to be close there. The Chiefs have a tendency to win games by like 1 or 2 points. That's just their MO for whatever reason. I'm going to go Chiefs to win, Chargers to cover the 3-point spread, though. I'm going to go under on the points as well because I think it's going to be a sloppy game here because of a lot of the traveling issues and stuff like that. I feel like international games aren't typically massive scoring events. So I'm going to say that. I'm going to say Chiefs, Chargers, and under.
Yeah, I mean, it's both teams. So their receivers are kind of like a lot of problems. We'll say with both those teams with the receivers. Offensive line a little sus when it comes to the Chargers. So expect a lot of running.
Exactly. So we almost agree. So obrigado.
Yeah.
I had to say at least one word in Portuguese. The Brazilian. So
Brazilian
next,
Portuguese.
We're moving on to the 1:00 game here, guys. The 1:00 games, I should say. Sorry. We got the Buccaneers at the Falcons is the first one to talk about here. With the NFC South division, the division that I guess somebody has to win because every single year this is like the weakest division basically in all of football, it seems like. And this is probably the two teams that will be battling it out for the division. You got to think that the Bucs are probably the better team just based on what they've done the last couple of years. Though a lot of what the Falcons are this year is going to depend on the arm and the legs of Michael Penix there. But we're going to find out here. So you got a 2.5 point spread there going positive towards the Falcons as they are the underdog. listen, again, you don't know in a division game. That's part of the fun of it there. 47.5 is the over under on this. And y'all know I've been a big fan of Michael Penix since day one. I think Michael Penix is going to be a damn legit good receiver in this game. Sorry, receiver, quarterback in this game. But what it boils down to it is the Buccaneers. It's week one. They're the better team. Penix is still getting his sea legs, so to speak, in the NFL. So I'm going to go with the Bucks to win. I'm going to hedge the bet again though, and say it's going to be like a 1-2 point kind of win at that point there, and give that spread pick to the Falcons. And I'm going to go under on the over under there.
Listen, this game could go either way when talking about the over under. We're going to do this one a little bit in reverse. But these teams play each other either defensively or offensively, and it's silly to say because that's the two sides of football. That being said, like last year, like they played each other to like a 30 to 35 game or whatever it was, but the first meeting was like a 17 to 13 game. So who showed up in what game? For whatever reason, both defenses show up in the game or both offenses show up in the game.
If I remember right, though, and I'd have to look it up to see, but I remember right, the first game Bijan Robinson, I think, didn't play. Or was that the prior year he missed? Because I know he missed one of the games with the Bucks. Again, just living here in Tampa Bay, I hear decent amount on the stuff that's going on with the Bucks. So I could be misremembering, but I want to say he might have missed that game.
I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the Bucks have been the better team, but when you the better team last year, where they have 9 wins compared to 8 wins, like it's not proven that much. They're that much better. They both played this division very tough. I mean, they play each other tough all the time. I think week one will surprise you a little bit. Atlanta's going to come in a little tougher. I think Penix looked really good towards the end of the year. I think he's going to give the ability to Drake London, which if you follow fantasy, half his points came out of the last 6 games. Half his points, I mean, half his stats and yards came pretty much out of his last 6 games. He also got Kyle Pitts, which the tight end, which everyone's been talking up. Probably won't play to his potential that everyone's talking about, but you can't count him out. And they diversified some weapons on there with Mooney as well. You got Godwin on the other side of the ball, who's not probably going to be 100% healthy. Chris Evans is, father time's catching up with him. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm not counting those guys out because I love both those guys. And I think the Falcons are going to win in a close game. And it's going to be in the under because I think it's more of a defensive game coming up than an offensive game.
So, yeah, honestly, that's a good call out on the Drake London thing because I hadn't even noticed that myself. But if you go back to I looked back to his game log while you're talking. The 3 games, the last 3 games of the year is when Michael Penix started for the Falcons there. Remember, his first game was the game that I went to when the Giants came down to Atlanta. So in those 3 games, he had 352 yards. So average 117 and a third yards per game. Prior to those 3 games with Penix, he only had 1 game over 100 yards. In fact, I'm looking, he only had 2 games over 80 yards even. So, yeah, that's a good call out there because that definitely seemed to be a difference there for Drake London towards the end. So,
listen, if you guys out there in fantasy land got Drake London in the second round, he's probably going to be your top flight receiver this year if Penix stays healthy because those two, boom, had a connection.
They did. So, all right, next up.
Oh, sorry. Next up, you got the Bengals going in to Cleveland for the Battle of Ohio.
Ohio.
The Bengals are favored 5.5 points in this game, and the over-under in this one is 47.5 points. Guys, it is very easy to say Bengals all day long. I am going to flip the script on this. I am not going to say the Bengals. The Bengals want to come off hot, but since Joe Burrow has been there, they have not had a hot start out of the gate season at all. They've won week 1, but they also are 4-1 since Joe Burrow came into the NFL. They're 1-4 in Cleveland since Joe Burrow came into the NFL. So that being said, with history going into this, I went with the Browns to win this game in a very close game. So that obviously means the Browns are going to cover this game. I'm going to go with the under because yeek.
So here's my whole thing in this. I look at the Browns and I say this is one of the spots that has one of the worst, absolute worst offense in the entire league, just because of what's going on at quarterback. You have 57-year-old Joe Flacco and a couple of mid-round rookies behind him there at that point. That's the biggest issue right there. Um, I look at the Bengals. The Bengals have a great offense, at least offensive weapons, great quarterback, great receivers, but they don't have much of the offensive line necessarily. The Browns, though, are the team that can't take advantage of their bad defense because of how bad the offense is. So because of that, if you can't go after the weakness of the team you're going against, I gotta root for the Bengals to win this at that point. They're the ones that should be winning this game here. In all fairness, 5.5 point spread to me, that's less than a touchdown. I'm going to go with the Bengals. This is a team that is hoping to get stuff done right here, and like you said, break that kind of issue they've been having in Cleveland, which is weird. Who has trouble winning in Cleveland?
The Bengals.
I'm just saying that's weird. That's a weird stat.
And listen, this is a divisional game, and just like you said, this is a high-power offense when it comes to Cincinnati, but one of the worst defenses that's going to be playing out there in the league. So when you have a bad offense going up against a bad defense, you're going to be able to put up some points.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. I think no matter what, they're going to have trouble in Cleveland putting up points this year, personally. So we'll see what happens. But again, I'm going to have the Bengals to win, cover the spread. I'm going to go the under because I just think the Browns are going to do nothing scoring wise. So, we'll see how it goes. But that's what I'm thinking here. So we got next the Dolphins at the Colts in the matchup of the two weakest, least scary mascots in the entire NFL. It seems like, oh
pretty
no,
horsey
versus the horse. Oh no, like
pretty horsey. It's not even a Bronco. Bronco's at least an untamed horse. The Colts is a male horse. Like, God.
Yeah, is it a colt like a baby horse?
Is it? I thought it was a male horse.
Baby horse. I'm pretty sure. What is a colt? Let's see here. Yep, it's a young, uncastrated male horse. I don't know why that matters to go into the mix as well, but we're going into it. Anyway, speaking of
so he's got his load.
Listen, this offense for the Colts is going to be castrated because they got Daniel Jones, DJ as their quarterback there. And listen, we know what that brings to offenses here. So I'm not a big fan of the Dolphins this year. I think the Dolphins will have issues all year long, basically. But when you're facing Daniel Jones, your defense is bound to look good. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the Dolphins win this game. They cover the 1.5 point spread that they're getting negatively towards themselves because you get the Colts are getting that 1.5 point, but that's nothing. I don't understand that spread. Why is it 1.5 points? Daniel Jones is their quarterback, guys. We've seen this for years as Giant fans. The over-under is on this game is 47. Which means you're basically counting on Daniel Jones to score more than 10 points to reach that, which is almost impossible, it seems like, based on history. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Dolphins, and the under.
We do agree on the under this one. And this is a flip of a coin for me, but I was leaning Colts, and when I saw and we were talking about this a little bit, I definitely had to go with the Colts on this one. Yeah, I wouldn't say easy money, but you got to put it this way. You got to think about this. You got to think about this side is that Michael McDaniels has been 3-0 in his starters as a head coach. And what's the coach for the Colts? Shane, what's his face? Who is 0-2 as a starter, opening day, if you will. So just by that record alone, the pressure for McDaniels isn't there. But the problem is Tua. That offensive line not being healthy, that defense being just terrible, and your best receiver out there, Tyreek Hill, has been having a big downward slump that no one wants to talk about. Grant Wallace is a great player. Who knows if Tua gets concussed, if you will. Yes, DJ is their starter over there, but know what DJ does very well? He runs behind another great running back, and you got that in JT, and you also got some other weapons over there. And he's got probably a better offensive line than, well, not probably, but he definitely has a better offensive line than he had with the Giants. And the Colts have a decently good defense. So I went with the Colts to win this game, obviously cover, and I took the under because I don't Once again, I don't see DJ throwing up 3 scores in this game, but it's
Yeah.
going to be enough to win this game. And I just think Dolphins come out slow and not their style, if you will.
All right, we'll find out.
We'll find out. Next up, you got the Battle of the Cats. You got the Panthers playing the Jaguars, which not far travel time, and technically isn't the Panther or Jaguars just black?
I'm not sure on that,
but that's besides the point. Anyway,
it's like a Florida Panther is like a mountain lion.
Well, I think a panther, if we're going to get technical, I think a panther is just a big cat that's black. I think that's what defines it.
I'm not a cat expert.
I'm not a biologist.
Only thing I know about is cougars and the boy Nacera in Red Bank.
Yeah, I was about to say Red Bank is very good for the cougars. They are not tamed.
We haven't made that reference in a while. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah. All right. So Jaguars hosting the Panthers. And the Jaguars are 3-point favorites in this game, and the over-under is at 46.5 points. I think this is the coming out party for the Panthers. They've had their issues. They have plenty of issues the past few years. But no, what? So have the Jaguars. And Trevor Lawrence is pretty much GJ 2.0. Just
Purple Jones.
Just better hair, right? He has. Everyone's talking about how great he's supposed to be. How great he's supposed to be with Kyrie Ridley, who's not even there anymore. Everyone's talking about Hunter, who, let's face it, is he a receiver? Is he going to be the corner? Like, I don't know what they're doing with this guy. Panthers got Bryce Young, who seems to start, once he got benched last year, start putting it together. Hubbard is going to be like an unsung hero as a running back. He's going to not be top tier like a Barkley, but he's going to be right there in the middle to higher tier of the starters in this league. So, especially if DraftKings you got him this week, you definitely start him. But I'm taking, like I said, Panthers to win, Panthers to cover, because you got to if they're going to win. And I took the under in this game. I'm sorry, I took the over in this game because I don't think they have defenses to stop any of these teams.
You know, I think the important question that's had to be asked this year is how many head coaches had to fail before they realized Trevor Lawrence is not a good quarterback? Because Urban Meyer was a train wreck. Let's be honest with that's what it is there. But the guy made Tim Tebow look amazing in college. You get Doug Peterson, who literally won a ring in Philly with, freaking Nick Foles of all people. And now you get Liam Cohen, who made Baker Mayfield and that offense look really, really good. So that's an issue when you're going through 3 coaches. We'll find out. Again, the third one's just beginning, but I'm just saying, like, this has got to be the last coach to try to make Trevor Lawrence look good. And if he can't do it, then maybe it's time to just admit that pick unfortunately just didn't work out for them for whatever reason. But I'm with you on the Panthers. I don't know about coming out party. I don't know if I'd go that extent, but I do think that the Panthers are going to be an improved team this year. Because you saw a little bit of change in Bryce Young last year after he got benched for a little bit and came back onto the field there. And he's got an actual guy who's got a track record of fixing quarterbacks. He's, fixed Geno Smith before, fixed the aforementioned, Baker Mayfield when he was OC in Tampa as well. It's actually kind of funny. This is the battle of the previous 2 offensive coordinators for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this game, actually. You wouldn't think of the Bucs as a place that develops head coaches, but here it is. So I'm going to say the Panthers win. I think the Panthers will cover the 3-point spread. That's not that much at that point. I'm with you on the over because I do think that while the Jaguars are going to have issues winning, they're going to put up some points in the process, which should be just enough to put it over on that. So yeah, I got the Panthers over.
Yeah, just think of the Jaguars this year are going to pretty much be the team version of Cincinnati. Like, bad defense, better offense, but it's not going to fit the couch just right.
Yeah, it's a lot of issues on both these teams for a lot of years. So I just hope for their fan bases that one of them starts winning. I just feel bad for them. I really do. Like, it's you gotta feel bad for a guy who roots for a team every year, never wins, and just like we felt like the last couple of years, the Giant fans.
Yeah. Well, listen. Trevor Lawrence did a DJ to them and got them right there to the playoff hopes 2 years ago. And everyone has been hanging their head on that and just looking at that beautiful head of hair as every time
Yeah.
the helmet comes off.
All right. Next up, we got the Raiders at the here, guys. And listen, it's a whole new Raiders. We got obviously Pete Carroll in there, Geno Smith. You know, it's a whole different feel at that point, except it's still the Raiders. It's still owned by the Davis family. They're still messing things up left and right. Amari Cooper just literally retired on them today because he'd rather retire than play for them, it seems. I can't. We don't know what happened. And for all we know, he's just fat washed up. He's done. But listen, they have it as a close matchup. It's two teams that, quite frankly, didn't look very good last year. Not that we have any room to talk as Giant fans, but you look at the off seasons, the Patriots added a whole bunch of free agents, but they overpaid for every single one of them. Let's be honest. The Raiders, like I said, they went out and got a guy who's a proven winner in Pete Carroll, and they're hoping that's enough to kind of turn some of this roster around. Whereas the Patriots go in and bring Mike Vrabel, also a proven winner, a head coach. Like, there's no way to know what to expect from these teams at this point. They're completely different teams than they were last year, basically. So it's kind of like the throw shit up against the wall and hope you're right kind of game when you call it. So again, another game I wouldn't put a damn cent of real money on. But as always, we will pick a winner for every single goddamn, game, no matter what. And we took the year off of Pete Carroll as a head coach. What do we always call Pete Carroll?
Sneaky Pete.
Sneaky Pete. So
Sneaky Pete at the Raiders. I can't wait to say this all year.
Yeah.
It's
so
like Christmas in September.
So I'm going to go ahead and say Sneaky Pete sneaks out a win here. And it's going to be a close game in the end. It's probably going to be like a one touchdown kind of game there. But I'm going to pick the Raiders to win. It's only a 3-point spread for the favorited Patriots there. So, but again, they're the favorites, and I don't think they're going to win anyway. So therefore, Raiders to win the spread there at that point. 43.5 is the over under on that, which is a pretty low spread for a week one matchup there. But I'm going to go ahead and give that to the under still. I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. That's for sure. So I got Raiders under.
Yeah. So I went completely opposite with you on this one. Yeah. And this is going to be something that's going to bite one of us down in the butt down the road, because I'm taking the Pats to win. The Pats obviously to cover with that. And then it's too close. I'm taking the over with this. You got Drake May, who came out, which we didn't think he was going to be too great, but on a bad team, looked pretty good, put up some scores last year in like some tough situations.
Drake May.
No, listen, I watched him on fantasy, man. He put up some scores against some better defenses than he should have. He looked good on a bad team, so like he has the ability to play well. Granted, variables. Is he going to utilize Drake May as the best? But I mean, he typically brings around some defenses to some teams, so which the Pats have typically been in there with a lot of teams. Typically, I would say it's a low-scoring game, but it's week one, and you also got Sneaky Pete bringing in Geno Smith to bring back that relationship they had in Seattle. But the question is, does Geno still have it? Like, he's getting old himself. There's been some talks like, does he still got the juice left? That's something we should see. Like, and just like you said, Ronnie Cooper just retired because he didn't want to deal with this team anymore.
Oh,
the same organization.
I say that kidding. I mean, he was there for like a week. Let's be honest. I don't think he had it anymore. Like a third of his yards last year came off of Deontay Banks in that Browns game.
Yeah, pretty much. So I don't know. I'm taking the Patriots to win this game cover, and I'm taking the over because that's just way too low of an over-under in week one. Like, that's a little scary. So, yeah. So we're going to agree to disagree on the game, but a game that I think we're going to agree on is pretty much a layup of a game. What seems like a layup, I should say, because there's nothing that's 100% at week one, especially when it comes to betting. You got the Cardinals going into Nolans playing the Saints. Nolans. Cards are favored 6.5 points on the road, which just tells you they got no respect for New Orleans. It's pretty much telling you that right out of the gate, they think New Orleans is going to be one of the worst teams in football, just like every other NFL fan out there who is
not tanking. I'm sorry. Do not tell me New Orleans is tanking.
Listen, you're saying Riller's not the answer over there? The over-under of this game is 43.5 points, just same as the Pats game. And it does seem low, but you know what? Kyler Murray has not been playing Call of Duty. He has not been out yet. So I think he's going to come in here almost. What?
I said calamari for a second.
Kyler Murray. The calamari kid, the squid kid.
Squidward, the quarterback.
Actually, I love it. We're going home Squidward going forward. He's going to come out there with the juice. I think it's just going to be the Saints playing from behind, and the Cardinals defense isn't that good, so I think they're going to hit the over that way. But there's no way that the Cards are. I shouldn't say no way, but there's almost no way that the Cards don't just blow this team out and at least a 2-score win, probably closer to a 3-score. You're looking at like a 15 to 17 point win.
You know, my only issue with saying that much of a spread is the fact that I don't really have much faith in the Cardinals either. You know, it's just I'm not a Murray fan. You know, I've never been a Murray fan. But I'm going to agree with you. The Cardinals are going to win because the Saints, like I said, they're tanking. There's no doubt in my mind they're tanking for a quarterback. No other reason would you go Spencer Rattler as your starting quarterback. Like, that's insanity.
Isn't he left-handed? That's why. Southpaw.
Tyler Shuck is your guy you drafted that looked horrible, couldn't win the starting job when he had to just beat out Spencer Rattler and Jake Hafner. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's insane. Like, that's my tweet. We told you guys during the draft not to go near that kid. He wasn't going to be good unless we like, oh, he's going to be great. No, he's not. So Cardinals to win. I think Cardinals beat the spread because I do think it's going to be like a 7-10 point victory for them probably there at that point. I'm going to go the under on the score on the 43.5 because quite frankly, I don't think the Saints put up more than like 10 points. I think it's going to be that bad. Like, it's going to be like watching the Giants offense the last couple of years, basically. So,
yeah.
So, all right, let's go on to what is supposed to be the lowest scoring game basically this entire week, which I think is a little crazy here. The Steelers at the Jets. You know, it's got a lot of interesting quarterback stories in here. You got Aaron Rodgers going back to the Jets in his very first week back with now the Steelers on his now third team in the NFL, which is supposedly going to be his final season as a NFL player as well. On the Jets side, of course, you know, you're bringing back the guy who literally was the starting quarterback for the Steelers to start the season.
This is switcheroonie.
And a guy they wanted back in Justin Fields. Like that. But guys, don't sit there and tell me that the Steelers aren't a whole lot better team than the Jets. Like we've all seen so far, there's been a lot of struggles on that offense. The struggle bus is real with the Jets. Justin Fields' best move is running. It's not a good thing as a quarterback, you know. And he looked better with the Steelers last year, and I think it was better for him to have stayed with the Steelers if they offered him anything decent, which is what the rumor is they wanted. They wanted to offer him something decent and give him another year to start. But guys, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to take this game very personal. I think there's a little bit of beef going on to how things went down because they literally made this man, and I guess, listen, Aaron Rodgers is a schmuck. Let's be very clear on that. I don't feel bad for him per se, but they made this man fly out to New York just to sit him down and say, we don't intend on bringing it back. Like, he took that very personal. He made that very clear. I think it was on the Pat McAfee show, probably. So yeah, it's he's going to take this move very personal, and he's going to show them point blank and show up, you know, and Aaron Glenn and make him look a little foolish for what he did. I think there's going to be that kind of irkingness there with him. So I got Steelers to win. The Steelers are 2.5 point favorites, which is nothing in this kind of game there. 38.5 is the over under. I'm going to still go the under. Because I think the Jets put up like nothing points wise there, and the Steelers will beat them pretty well. But even if the Steelers put up 21 points, let's say hypothetically, and the Jets put up 10, you're still under. And that's the kind of score I think is what's going to happen. So I got Steelers to win, Steelers to cover the 2.5 point spread, and I got under on the points.
Yeah, listen. Jay's banging the drum in the comment section over here. Steelers blood. I think you're on to something there, Jay. I am agreeing. The Aaron Rodgers is going to come over here and be very salty. And you know what? Justin Fields is also coming here very salty. This is a double revenge game.
Yeah.
And Justin Fields also has a chance to play with his former college teammate who helped him get drafted to the NFL as it is. So there's going to be a connection there. They had that before going to New York together. And I think Garrett Wilson's going to feast. But that Steelers defense is also pretty legit. I think 10 points is a little unfair, especially since you got Bryce Hall and the new guy in the backfield as well, they're going to be splitting time. Bryce Hall was very good as it was last year. So this offense is going to be running a lot from the backfield with a couple deep threat passes. Not to say it's enough to win. It's just going to be enough to put that over when they get like 14 to 7, probably 14 points. And Aaron Rodgers is going to be a schmuck to put up 3 touchdowns as they run in a touchdown as well. And they're going to kick as many field goals as possible. So I went with the over.
I just think what's going to happen, to be very frank with you, is that the passing offense is going to be so bad for the Jets that people are just going to stack the box, and stack the box. And Breece Hall is a good running back, and Braylon Allen also is a good running back as well. But neither one of them are elite running backs. And that's the thing. It takes an elite running back to still manage to function when they're stacking the box like that against you. So that's why I'm at there.
Yeah, listen, he dealt with that when he played for the Steelers. So, and he looked quite all right. So if you got the right coach staff, maybe Steelers help coach that out a little bit because the Jets aren't going to do it. But once again, he's got that safety blanket and Garrett Wilson. So
we'll see. If he can get the ball to him, we'll find out.
Yeah.
All right. It's time for the game.
Our game.
Game of the week as a Giants podcast.
Yeah, as a Giants podcast, game of the week. All right. We got the Giants going down to DC. We are underdogs big time in this game. By 6 points. And then over-unders at 45.5. Guys, we really want to know our answers about this. Watch yesterday's episode, but to sum it up real fast, I went with the Giants to win this game because I'm crazy. I went with the Giants to cover this game, obviously because they're going to win this game. And then I also took the over just by barely, just a hair. It's like right there at that Tyson line. What's it going to be? But I think it's going to be like one of those 27-24s, 27-21, enough to cover.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like 24-21. So I think the Giants will lose the game in a very close fashion, which they typically play the Commanders very close. I do think, though, that the Commanders, it's not a lock for them to win this game, guys. The Giants can still win it. So I'm not trying to be that negative, guys. Just you got to win a little bit, Giants, before I start trusting you again. I've been hurt before by the Giants. But I do think the Giants will cover the spread as well. Like you said, it's very close, going to be probably. I do think on the over-under, I'm going to go on the under of that, but just barely. I think it's going to be like 24-21, like I said, which, puts you right at that kind of range where it's like half a point under there. So we'll take a look and see.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we're moving to 4 o'clock, guys. It's time for the 4 o'clock games. So we're going to go on to the Titans at the Broncos, which I think is probably one of the least exciting game there, probably this entire schedule this week here. If Broncos are 8-point favorite, the over-under on this is 41.5. And guys, listen, Cam Ward's going to start for the Titans. There's not a lot of help around there for him. They have a coach they trust because he helped, develop Burrow, but it's not a lot there for him. He didn't always look the best during the preseason as well. Point blank, Jackson Dart looked better. And that's not me trying to talk trash. It's just legit facts. So I'm going to say that the Broncos win this game because I think it's going to be a little bit of a rough road to start here for Cam Ward, and he's going to have to try to improve on the go as things go for the season there. And I think it's going to be a victory. I got the Broncos to win this as well. Really good defense and a horrible defense to have to go against when You're really playing your first NFL game there. There's not many weapons around. That's for damn sure. So I'm going to say Broncos win. I'm going to say the on the over under. I think it's going to be the over because I actually don't have a lot of faith in the Titans defense either. So I'm going to sit there and say Broncos just absolutely destroy the Titans and probably what'll be their most dominant win all season long there. Broncos over.
Yeah, Bo Nix really came around last year and proved his worth. They started him off slow, gave him a couple of passes here and there. Yeah, let him throw for 12 let him throw 12 times a game, and then he upped it. By the end of the year, he was just throwing downfield. This is Cam Ward's first game in the NFL, so I don't think he's going to come lining up the field, especially against what's arguably going to be the best defense in this league. Yeah, definitely top 5.
Yeah, I guess that's a rough card to get that as your first game in the NFL.
Yeah, especially since you are going to the Mile High, and it's not at home. So now you're not used to being that in Denver, playing in a different environment, different environment, Mile High.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the Broncos to do a spanking all day long, have a nice beatdown. I mean, I wish Cam Ward the best in this game. Like we talked about him being one of the best coming out, but it is a bad luck of the straws there.
Is it bad that I hear the Mile High? I don't even think of the stadium. I think of the Mile High Club.
No, not at all. I think about it every time I say it.
And it would be a great idea. Let's have sex in a bathroom in an airplane. Like, y'all ever been in one of those airplane bathrooms? There's no goddamn room.
That's the point.
No, but I'm like maybe it's because I'm a 6'7" man, but I'm like, how do I maneuver this to even have this happen at that point? Plus, it's not conspicuous to have 2 people go into the bathroom at the same time. Like,
listen.
And how did 2 people get in the bathroom?
Oh, you can fit in there. It's just about how long you stay in there.
Oh my gosh.
It's another issue.
There's not enough room to punch the clown in there, let alone have sex. Goddamn.
Yeah, right.
All right, guys.
Anyway,
next game up, we got your turn.
Oh, yeah, so what are you talking about? All right, we got 49ers going into Seattle. Damn, Drew. The Seahawks are favored in this game by 2.5 points. I'm sorry, Niners are favored by 2.5 points, and the over-under in this game is at 44.5 points. Listen, you're going to Seattle playing 12th man. Brock Purdy's one of the best things on that team right now because they gave away the rest of their offense. Your best player right now is Kittle. Ayuk is he going to be 100% with that ankle thing coming back?
He's pissed.
I don't think. Yeah, so you got a lot of problems you got to figure out. Your best bets right now is Jennings over there. So down the road, the Niners will be a better team. They're probably going to win the second round, but I'm taking the Seahawks to win this game. They're obviously going to cover, and I'm taking the under in this game because I think it's more of a defensive game that's going to show up. There's a lot of things happening, but it's just I can't put my money right now. The best thing that's going to go on is CMC as long as he doesn't tear his calf.
Listen, this is a little bit of a tough game to kind of figure out too as well. Again, I don't want to keep on beating that dead horse. No offense to the Broncos when I say that, because week 1, a lot of changes. You don't know fully everything going on there. So you got the 49ers who basically lost half their defense in free agency, got rid of Deebo Samuel. You got CMC coming off of a horrible injury-ridden year for him. You got the Seahawks that made a whole bunch of changes. Well, got rid of Geno Smith, got rid of DK Metcalf, brought in Sam Darnold to that point, who we're not sure, was it Minnesota? Was it him last year? You're going asking Jackson Smith and Najigma now to be the number 1 receiver. I mean, it's a totally different team than last year. And it's a hard one at that point there to figure out because of that. Another game I wouldn't touch with actual money, but I'm going with the Seahawks to win. I'm going with the Seahawks to go ahead and obviously, because they're getting the 2.5 points there, they're going to be the ones to win the spread pick there at that point. I'm going to go with the under on the points as well. I'm with you on that. Like, this is going to be probably a little bit of a low scoring game. I think the Seattle Seahawks in general are going to be a little more of a defensive team this year. They've been getting a lot of good players in the defensive side of the ball. They got a defensive-minded head coach now. They got a quarterback that I don't necessarily trust to put up a ton of points as of right now. So I think it's going to be that kind of game there. And you're right on Brock Purdy. Like Brock Purdy in this season reminds me, and let's see if he works better than I want to put negativity on him because I actually root for the kid because you got to root for an underdog. He's Mr. Irrelevant. He's always the underdog his whole career at this point. But reminds me kind of like Mark Sanchez with the Jets. Remember when they went to back-to-back AFC championship games? They had a loaded team. Slowly but surely, they took the running back away. They took Thomas Jones. They took away, like, a lot of the offensive line. And then Mark Sanchez just wasn't the same player.
No. And then got Tebow.
Can Brock Purdy be elite? We don't know, but probably not.
Yeah. His saving grace, too, is as long as that CMC is not the first drafted running back or first drafted overall pick in fantasy football, he normally balls out. He did not, but he's also come back off a pretty serious injury last year, so we shall see.
All right, let's go to the 425 games here. After I got to ask, there seems to be some kind. My shirt apparently is getting some likes here. It says this coffee better kick in before reality does. There with a little unicorn having it there. Jason, is that a T-shirt? A unicorn drinking a cup of coffee, and he finds it funny. And then Jason, if you can't figure out the shirt, you have more time next show. It never gets a break. He thinks I wear the same shirt all the time for some reason. Listen, I brought out a 2008 NFC East Championship shirt yesterday.
And you were getting shit for that, so obviously different shirt.
What's with my shirts? Let's start picking on Magnum PI here next to me. Or
what are you talking about? I don't have a hairy chest.
I say, what are you doing here? Why did you start stripping when I said that?
If I'm Magnum PI, I got to wear this shirt like half unbuttoned.
Yeah. Listen, Magnum PI solved murders. He wasn't a stripper, okay?
But the shirt was always half on.
That's true-ish, I guess. I haven't watched a Magnum PI, the original Magnum PI, in I don't know how many years. So, the older and older I get, the more I just feel like Higgins. Anyway, back to the 425 game. So we got first off the Lions at the Packers here with a nice NFC North matchup here. Packers are a 2.5 point favorite. Over under on that is 47.5. The big story obviously is will Micah Parsons play, being traded now obviously from the Cowboys to the Packers recently. They're saying that he still has some back issues. I honestly think that's a PR move to save face, to say he had back issues in Dallas. And look, it's real. He had him here too. And I think he'll play. I really think that's what's going on here. Maybe I'm just a cynic. Who knows? Listen, the Lions, though, lost both coordinators this offseason, lost their offensive coordinator to the Bears, lost their defensive coordinator to the Jets. There's some questions. Dan Campbell, great motivator, great CEO-style head coach there. But can he get this team back to going with new OC, new DC? You don't look at that guy and think he's great at coaching blank. You know what I mean? Like, there's guys who are offensive gurus. There's guys who are defensive gurus. Obviously, he was a blocking tight end as a player. So, you kind of think probably offense more is his thing. But that's what I look at him as. He's the motivator guy. He's the CEO type at that point. So what does this team lose by having two brand new coordinators? That's going to be a fun thing to see in the beginning of this there. Whereas the Packers are basically just loaded up for the first time with a big splashy move with Micah Parsons. That's very un-Packer-like. The Packers typically draft, and don't make big splashy moves. So kudos to them for doing something different there. I'm going to say the Packers, they're a little, they're rolling here. They're all psyched out having a big move there. So I think the Packers win it. And motivation is part of it, guys. That happens when you're psyched out because your team just made a big move like that to help you guys win. You want to win. And don't get me wrong, everybody wants to win, but if that doesn't motivate you, nothing will. Seeing a team like being backed up by the ownership group and everything, well, even though the owners, I guess, the people of Green Bay or whatever, but like having it backed up by the front office. So yeah, like I said, I think point blank, you got to go with the Packers in this game. the Lions might have a little bit of a rougher start than they've had the last couple of years. They try to get things going with these new coordinators. Packers take full advantage. Packers, and I'm going to say over. I think this is going to be a very high-scoring game.
Yeah, you definitely make a lot of points over there. And Michael Parsons is a big, big piece. And we talked about this before, like when it broke out that he left Dallas, which now we don't have to play him twice a year. We have to play him once this year, but that's because he's in Green Bay. It's a very smart move for Green Bay because they don't spend much. What's that?
Free scarf day, by the way.
I know, it's fantastic. I can't wait to get a free scarf because I'll be at that game. So Goofball, if you're out there and you want to go to the Packers game and watch them lose and us cry about Mike Parsons beating up on us again, like I'll be there.
I'll be in Florida where I don't need a scarf.
Touche. It still looks good on the pod though. But listen, you got one of the best
with the good pick on the
cheesehead, get out of here. But I have to agree with you. Listen, the Lions are a very dominant team. They're a very aggressive team, but you got two new coordinators over there. Green Bay's a young team that's working on its offense, but that defense has really stepped up big time. And I think the Lions are going to come out slower, like you said, and I don't think they're going to be as aggressive on the ball. So I'm going to take the Packers to win this game in a very close game. I'm going to take them to cover, but I'm going to take the under in this game.
All right.
So I don't think it's going to be like when they meet again, you're probably talking over, and you're probably talking over close to 60.
Yep. Well, we'll see. I said I think I got over on this personally, but we'll see who's right. We'll see who's right there. Either way, we got the same team, so we're at least thirds the way on the same page.
All right, let's talk about the Texans going into LA. Play them Rams. Jackson's in the Rams there.
Get a Ram.
Team Ramrod. The Rams are favored by 2.5 points in this game, and the over/under in this is at 44.5 points. Yeah, you had CJ Stroud coming off last year off a down year. Same with Matt Stafford. But he seems to be fully healthy this year. They've made some proper moves. Same with Houston. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but you just don't go into another man's home in a close game where both these teams are where they're both unsure what's going on. So I'm taking the Rams to win this game. Listen, CJ Stroud's going to have to prove himself. You got Tank over there who's Mighty Mouse, if you will. But if healthy, I think both these teams will. If both these teams, if healthy, are going to have a bounce back year. But the Rams are going to take it week 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on a lot of this here because the big thing for me is Matt Stafford's not even on the injury report, so he looks good to go. I think this is going to be a Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua kind of show there at that point there, which would be fun because Stingley is going to be covering him there, so that'd be a fun matchup to see there. But the biggest issue I have is the Texans overall right now. Let me sidetrack from the game. I know, crazy we sidetrack in this episode. Do the Texans want CJ Stroud not to succeed? Because, like, the big issue with him last year was he didn't have time in the pocket. And then you go ahead and trade away his left tackle. One of the best left tackles in all of football. Like, I don't get that. I don't understand that mentality. Like, oh, look, our sophomore quarterback didn't do as good as his rookie year. Maybe we should just get rid of his left tackle.
I mean, that's also the Texans for you. They have a tendency to make some weird moves. But they've also tried to beef up that defense this offseason. They've also tried to replace some different players. But you're right. You let go one of the best tackles.
Yeah. I mean, you got a lot of picks for him. I'll give him that. That's for damn sure.
For hopes and dreams.
You know, and they went out and, you know, drafted a new left tackle in the second round. So, you know, I mean, at least they saw the need and went out and got one there. But to me, it's like he had that problem last year. You gave him even less help on the offensive line. So, yeah, how am I supposed to think he's going to improve and go back to what he was? So I'm going to say Rams, and the over just on that fact alone. So they get this offensive line figured out. I can't trust the Texans.
Yeah, it's fair.
So next up, we got the Ravens at the Bills on Sunday Night Football, and that's a
Monday night.
game to have there for Sunday Night Football. Kudos to NBC on getting that one there. Listen, this is, some people will say, a preview of the AFC Championship game. I will tell you point blank that one of these two teams will probably face the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, because that's just the way things tend to go.
Not wrong.
Yeah. So listen, the thing is, it's a home game for the Bills. They're a 1.5-point favorite. And honestly, it's because of the fact that it's a home game for the Bills. 51.5 is the over-under. Absolutely insanely high over-under. I'm going to say the Bills win it because, again, they are the home team. I'm giving the edge purely on that. This is a flip of a coin kind of game, guys. Point blank. Flip of a coin. Now, if this was in the postseason, I would tell you the Bills, because I trust the Bills a little more in the postseason than I do the Ravens. But in a regular season home game, I'm going to say the Bills have a slight edge because of that home field advantage there. So Bills to win, 1.5 points. Not going to change who I pick as far as the spread. So Bills to win the spread there. I'm going to say the under on the points, though. And I think it'll be close. Don't get me wrong. But I think it'll be like more of like a 48, 49 kind of points in this game here, as opposed to getting over that 51.5 spread there. That's just a ridiculously high spread.
Yeah, it is. It is a high spread, but I also think it's a flip of a coin of a high spread. It is one of those games that's very easily could go over. But these two teams both have really good defenses, but they also are. You're talking about the top two quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Best of the best.
But best of the best, sir. You're right.
We got in a black at least once the episode.
This guy over here, yes, sir. Anyway, I'm taking the Bills to win this game. I do have Lamar Jackson in my fantasy football team, but I think Josh Allen is probably the best quarterback in this league right now. Overall, real quarterback.
Patrick Mahomes?
Right now, stats-wise, thrown up.
I'm not a guy. I'm an eye test guy. But
yeah, well, I test Josh Allen a little bit more.
All he does is win. Anyway, I digress.
Anyway, listen, I would love to see this game if it was played in December. It would be a way different outcome, and Bills definitely be favored more. But I do take the Bills in this game. I think it's going to be one of those back and forth nonstop games, and I think the Bills have better overall weapons on offense than the Ravens do, but Lamar Jackson is just a weapon himself that's diversifiable, and they have a better defense. But I think that offense of the Bills is going to be enough to win this game very closely in the over.
Honestly, I can't get behind what you're saying on the weapons there with the Bills. I mean, the Ravens, I like what the Ravens have with Zay Flowers, getting Hopkins. I know he's on the end of his career. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's the Hopkins he was back in Houston, but that's a decent, team there, especially with the duo of tight ends they have there. I think got a decent set of weapons there.
They do. I just like the way that the ball moves around a little bit more with the Bills, and I think it's enough to bring the win to the Bills.
Oh, like I said, we do agree on that. So, last game.
All right, last game, Monday night.
Hey, friends, here on Monday night.
Are you ready? Monday Night Football, and they gave us a banger of a game.
Football.
You got the Minnesota Vikings, don't you know? Going over to the Bears. A bunch of hosers over there. These Bears. Let me tell you, don't you know? Yeah, the Vikings are favored by 1.5 going into Chicago, which just tells you they're giving a lot of respect to the Bears.
Don't know why.
It's weird. Don't know why. Because usually, and 2 months from now, this will be like a 5.5 point favorite to Minnesota, but it is what it is. The over-under is 44.5 points, saying that these defenses are going to play a little better than these offenses, which I get what they're saying with the Vikings because, new quarterback, no Sam Darnold anymore. You got the Bears with Cam Ward. They think there's, Cam Ward's going to be the saving grace over there.
The Bears.
And the
Caleb
Bears.
Williams.
Caleb Williams. What did I say?
Kiss Cam Ward. Wrong
Cam
game.
Ward. Wrong game. Whoops. Yeah, Caleb Williams. See, that's how much I forgot about Caleb. Yeah, I'm taking not taking the Bears almost any game this year until they prove themselves otherwise, because they've been a dumpster fire. Time and time again, Minnesota figures out how to do it. You got one of the best, maybe the best wide receivers in the game. I'm going to give that to Jamar Chase, but especially since he's hooked up with his college quarterback, and they've just been crushing it.
I know they hooked up.
Yeah, it's weird. Don't ask myself. But JJ himself, and they got too many weapons on offense that you could literally put in our QB3 and look good.
Well,
they've done it the past 2 years.
Our QB3 is Jameis Winston, so yeah.
Yeah, he would look fantastic over there. So I'm taking the Vikings to win. Obviously, they're going to cover this game. And I'm taking the over because I do think the Bears are going to put up some scores, but I think the Vikings are just going to take advantage and put up like 24 points by themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually with you 100% on this
28.
game. My only concern I have is JJ McCarthy, because I wasn't a big fan of JJ coming out of college. Really, his best move was handing the ball off. But like you said, look at the weapons around him. Good offensive line. You got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. Is one of the best wide receivers in football. If you give him a wide receiver, one spot, obviously he's been, wide receiver 2 now with this team here. He's also going to be suspended for this game because he's suspended the first 3 games. But I got to give him his props because he's a player that I think is a little underrated right now. TJ Hawkinson, and people forget how good that defense was for them last year. They gave up the 5th least amount of points in the NFL. They made Sam Darnold look good to the point where he got millions of dollars from the Seahawks. So I do think we'll regret that move.
Joshua Dobbs looked good over there.
Yeah, listen, if you can't throw the ball to Justin Jefferson and succeed, there's issues, because he is the best wide receiver in football. I get Chase had a better year last year, but for their career so far, if you go year by year, Justin Jefferson has had the better career so far. And I think he is the best wide receiver in all of football. I'm going to pick with you at that point the Vikings to win, the Vikings to cover, and the Vikings to be on the over. I also think we should start doing an over-under in how many games before you start getting Caleb Williams crying into his mommy's lap there in the stadium, because I'm not a big fan of Caleb Williams, and nothing against him personally. I just don't think he's as good a quarterback as people think. Ironically enough, we talked about the Jordan Addison thing a minute ago. Jordan Addison is who made him look so good at USC his junior year. Came back one more, and then all of a sudden, yeah, not so good there. So, as Jace knows, his Minnesota is a stacked roster. Van Ginkel, where did he come from? He came from his mom.
That's right. So real fast, we want to do that real fast. So you got the Bears play the Vikings week 1, week 2 the Lions, week 3 the Cowboys, week 4 the Raiders, week 5 Commanders, week 6 Saints. So he gets a little break there, but then you go Ravens, Cincinnati. I think he cries during a Giants game.
Listen, November 9th. We'll find out if he has little sad faces painted onto his nails for that week. We'll know. So
maybe he makes it to the 16th of November, where they have to play Minnesota again.
Yeah,
and it's going to be even worse.
As Jace knows, I thought his dad popped me out. No, he's not a seahorse. He's not a seahorse. Okay. All right.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you.